Yo, what's up? Welcome back to another episode of Out of Ore. And I got a handful of things to share with you. I am now, let me get out of drone view. Turn our HUD back on, get rid of our controls panel. So I'm now on the beta version of the game, so you can do that through Steam. Easiest way to figure that out is just look at the Friday announcements that they post, and it'll tell you how to access the betas if you don't know how already. Still got lots of coal to deal with. I took a break for a couple days. I was starting to get frustrated, and I was just kind of just getting bored of just doing the same loading to this dump right here, to this little coal processing plant I got set up. But the angle that I've got here to mine this, and then how tight it is, and I can't really get a truck in there because the truck has to be sideways. It started to make me just really think about it, and I think one thing I'm gonna try is getting a bulldozer today and seeing if we can kind of make a separate path. Kind of what I was originally thinking, when I made that asphalt road thing there. So I was starting early game, like first or second episode, I was starting to make that asphalt road, just kind of explaining the asphalt that's found on the surface of every ore deposit and how I can make use of it versus just selling it. So that's going to be something I think about doing, is maybe getting a bulldozer and kind of bulldozing a little bit wider of a path down to maybe get this from the bottom up, or layer it. So make a path to about, you just get level, make a path to about here. Actually, let's go a little bit deeper, probably about here, and then clear this out level with the gravity, and then have another path, or continue that path down here. I'm gonna start doing, I don't know, I guess like a different technique anyway. And I think the bulldozer, the main thing is just getting a better angle on my downward traveling. I might be able to get it done with this if I'm more patient and more skilled, but I just don't have enough experience using these yet. So there was some troubles getting it done. Other people might be able to do it, but I think I need some help. So what I'm gonna do is get the cheapest bulldozer. I don't think I can buy anything other than the cheapest bulldozer. I believe it is yeah, 345k. And I've got a bunch of resources plus some company funds I can use if needed, if I run across a situation where I need to spend some money. But we're making plenty of money. I think I can justify at least trying out a bulldozer. Mind you, I've never used one, so this is all gonna be experimental on my behalf and figuring out how this thing works. I've only seen it used on YouTube videos and channels. Okay, it's got some tilt stuff. I don't know if I want to accidentally be able to do that. I may leave this on shift and then put the up down on my middle or my thumb mouse button. So let me get that hotkey set up. Go to controls, and then we're on the dozer, and I want up and down, blade up, blade down. A mouse button, we'll go ahead, hit save, hit back, resume, we'll double check that. Yep, that's good. And then if I want to tilt, I gotta hit shift, so I shouldn't accidentally tilt. And that's kind of my thing, is I don't think I'll need to be tilting very much. Make sure that's level. It looks pretty level to me. It's crazy there's no no identifier of like where your settings are at. I think the GPS I've seen somebody, I think it was Split, show the GPS on YouTube. Alright, let's see if we can do this. We probably want to start at a higher elevation. When does it start bulldozing? It's actually pretty good where I just set it. Oh wow. Bubbled up on me. Need to lower it a little bit. Okay, this is pretty crazy. Not gonna lie. Alright, this is what I think I needed this whole time for making this path a little bit better. I think I am gonna tilt this way a little bit. Lower ground, and I'm gonna push here. Yep, this is definitely gonna do what I want it to do. I'm gonna angle this way again. Alright, cool. So I'm just kind of focusing and learning how to use this, when to adjust the blade, when not to. It definitely works really well if you just set it at one level and then leave it. Let's go ahead and do that, and we'll just flatten it out. I think this is the perfect angle. I could probably tilt the blade a little bit more to the left, actually. Okay, so we're getting the starts of a nice little downward hill for my loader to take right here. Probably just have to shave out the little floaters or dingleberries or whatever you want to call them. But for this right here, we can just knock that right out. Easy peasy. Yeah, so this is starting to form a nice little slope. A little bumpy right here. What's going on with that? Mind you, this is all me learning right here. Trying to figure out how to use this thing to its best. And it's like, if you're not confident with it, it's gonna make more of a mess than it's gonna make. And I keep hitting shift for some reason. Yeah, I don't know why it's so bouncy right here. I'm having just as much trouble doing this now all of a sudden as I was my loader, and I'm not liking it. I'm gonna grab this over here, try to fix something. Yeah, we were having a pretty good start of a path, and then just, I don't know, I lost confidence, and then things just went to shit real quick. Like, these upward paths that I first started doing were great, and then once I started trying to really refine this path and widen it, it was just a fight between the angles at that point, and then tilting your bucket, getting it just right, and any hesitancy, if you started to dig a hill or start to dig anything, it scoops it into the blade, the dozer blade, and if you're procrastinating with it in the blade, it's just gonna dump right in front of it, and it's almost, I don't know, just mounds up under the tracks. I don't really know what just happened there, other than I was just procrastinating and going too slow, and we'll see if we can try that again. At least we got this guy right here, the roller, and then we'll give this another shot. I want to level the bucket. The easiest way to do that is to kind of look at the top of the hood and just kind of get that metal bar straight. So this is all the way up, and we're gonna kind of make a path going downhill. It's just the only intention we've got is to go downhill. Maybe we'll go wide and then cut back, kind of head towards that asphalt. Otherwise we're gonna have a steeper hill than we want, I think. And right here I'm gonna have to cut down quite a bit. And it has the same kind of slide mechanic as everything else I've noticed. So for this example, I'm cutting into a hill going down, but the hill on the right side of the machinery is the high side of the hill. And the high side of the hill always pushes your machinery towards the low side of the hill. I'm gonna try to compensate by a tilt in the bucket and see if that helps solve that problem. But for the most part, it's just part of how the dirt moves and how the dirt reacts to the machinery. But we're gonna try this again like this. It says I'm overloading. It doesn't feel like I should be overloading. And see, like, it's literally disabling the dozer because of the hill mechanics. The way the voxels are pushing against the machines in this game, I think is going to be a priority fix if the dirt is going to act anything like it should act. It's like, right now I've got my bucket tilted into this hill, and it's sucking it in now. Yeah, I'm just kind of experimenting really right now. I'm using my main save to experiment, which is no big deal. It's all being beta tested really. So we're gonna try doing this tilt again. Only thing is now I can't cut down. I think it's gonna be too deep on one side. That's actually pretty flat, but my bucket's also pretty flat. It's got a very slight tilt into the hill. I'm gonna push kind of up now. I think this might be the technique for the way things are right now, is to tilt the bucket towards the high side of the blade, whatever you want to call it. Right here I've got it pretty much level on each side, so let's just see if we can carefully come in and go down. Let's tilt the bucket again a little bit. It's starting to push, untilt it a little bit when it gets a little flatter, and then right there it's kind of, I need to start cutting in a little more again. I hit E on accident. I'm gonna take a sip of coffee and think about this. Alright, let's tilt the bucket slightly into the hill, and let's dig down here, level this out. I didn't cut hard enough. Once again, I'm not really cutting down like I need to be. There we go. Now we're cutting a little too much. I'm just feeling kind of weird with it, but take this tree out. You know, the best way to get good is just play in the dirt. You know, with any machinery I've ever used, it was just let them have it. So that's all I can really do. Turning's not really fluid either. Like it's like it hits the brakes, just kind of strange, but maybe that's a good thing. I just feel like it should be a little more fluid, and possibly with joysticks it is more fluid. I don't know. I'd probably tear up more stuff if it didn't brake like it does when you turn. Alright, we're just gonna try to keep this blade flat, push dirt, see what happens. Just kind of pushing this off. Might be stupid, but let's not do that. Let's not do that. And then it just starts cutting like crazy. Can't control. You know, maybe there was like a divot in the hill there. I don't know. It just like suddenly felt like it was cutting quick, and then I'm gonna be in the same predicament as I was before, even with the bulldozer. It's like I can't control the rate at which it wants to cut. It's like once it starts to bounce and cut, you immediately got to pull back and then start again. Maybe I need to work closer to this edge here. I want to know how I can level this out. Maybe this is going to be the way. If this works, I think I'm going to understand it now. If you get in and out too quickly, your engine won't start. Alright, so maybe the voxels are situated from north to south, almost like cubes. I'm digging perfectly with the compass, you can see a little easier. It's kind of flat there now. That's the nice thing with tracked vehicles. You can just straight up flip around, do a 180. And don't give it too much gas is the trick, I think. Just kind of tap it. I think that's working pretty well. Part of me that wishes I was using the drone to time-lapse this, but I wasn't really thinking about it. I was just mainly thinking about just learning how to operate this efficiently. Pretty much it. Alright, we're going to try to cut a little bit more right here. And just remember to tap it very gently and then adjust accordingly. That started to lift on me. I need to lift my bucket and then kind of tap it. So that's the way, is get your angle left or right, lower the bucket down, get your angle, and then just tap the forward. Every time you change from left or right, it really messes with things. And if you speed up too fast, I think it might affect the terraforming of the ground. Yeah, so I'm just kind of tapping the gas and keeping this angle. It's definitely a skill issue or a learning curve to get this right. This one we're gonna kind of go a little lower than the last one, but still kind of curve up over here. So it's definitely working. I am getting a lot more of a gradual downward hill versus a very steep incline, which I think my loader will be able to navigate a lot easier. Yeah, we're gonna kind of keep that. I'm gonna try to level this out a little bit here. Don't go too much. We'll back up. Alright, and then I kind of want to take the loader for another spin. Let me just fix this over here. A little bit of overhang. I didn't want to do that. It's going to kind of slope that part a little much, but whatever. I kind of feel like this wasn't really ready to be rolled out yet, but whatever. It's definitely not wide enough. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and park this, take another drink of coffee, and think about my next steps. Alright, so let's get back to business here. So the incline is a little bit more gradual and more controllable, for the most part. It's nice because you don't have to keep moving dirt back and forth, especially when it's non-profitable dirt like this, where I'm not really too worried about selling it or storing it or anything like that. I'm just really just trying to move this mountain around so I can get access to these resources over here. What might happen first is I start to kind of level out this spot and kind of make a little turnaround right here so I can get in here, and then maybe we'll load the truck up from here and get this coal. Wonder what it would take to kind of level this out a little better. May almost even be better to come from right down here. So we'll keep on working on that right now. I'll get back in the dozer, and actually I kind of got an idea. Let's try this. I'm gonna go down here, try not to mess anything up. Got my blades all the way picked up, so it shouldn't bite too much. It's pulling it. Yeah, I think this might be the way to go right here. Let's get her level. Come on, buddy. Push that stuff straight off. And we'll come back, and it wants to hug one side of the hill, and then we'll go this way. I think we're starting to figure it out. You know, better ways of making a path to a ore deposit, or vein, whatever you want to call it. I'm holding shift too much, and now my cat is pushing my hand. That just made everything. Thank you, buddy. I love you too. All right, why is it? Okay, Bucket, drop all the dirt. You're flat. There's nothing to hold on to. Come on, man. I don't know what. It's still so finicky. It's not my cup of tea right here. The struggle that I'm facing. The learning curve. Let's go. Now, why the hell is there still dirt in this bucket? Just because it's I need to zoom out. I think that's my biggest thing, is needing to zoom out. All right, let's tilt the bucket slightly, ever so slightly. Dip it down, and then somehow push dirt behind the bucket. There should be like coding in the game that says bucket dirt never appears behind bucket. That would be great. Yep, let's just still try to level this out. I don't know, this is glitched, I think, because it's still showing dirt in the bucket, and when I place it down, it's gonna materialize that dirt. And here I'm back to full throttle pushing it. Now it's actually cutting the blade, the angle that it was set to, which makes sense. I just don't know why it's clumping so much behind it, because I'm driving over. So hard to control both tilt and elevation at the same time without making more of a mess. But I think that's the best way to do it, is to control both of them at the same exact time. And then once I got this dug, I can flatten it with the roller. Go ahead and come up. I went a little far, way too far down than I wanted to. A lot of that's just because it's sucking the dozer in. Now we're materializing hills. Alright, this is going to be the tester right here. Can I bulldoze perfectly flat ground to maintain flatness? I don't think so. The bucket was well above the flat, and it was digging way under. So you would think right about here, you're not even touching the dirt below. You'd think it would keep the dirt at least flat, or I would have went up. This literally is digging down right there. I don't know why. And once you dig down, it's like, it's fucked. This ground is now no longer flat here, and there's no way to really achieve this flatness. Like, I can try to roll this, and this is kind of like my frustration. I do love this game. This game is very fun, but dealing with the dirt, which is the only thing you deal with in this game, it's not, I just don't know how to describe it. It's not how I would like to see it. It leaves so much room for error. I'm sure you get used to it. No problem. But for me, things like this, they frustrate me, they demotivate me. There's really nothing to do except to improve your skill handling what you have to work with. That's pretty much it. And then just learning how the game functions itself. And then I'm learning you just sit, you can lift your bucket, drops the dirt, deletes it, whatever. This thing's permanently broken with the dirt in it. See if we can just fix that by replacing it. Yeah. And as soon as this is another thing. Why are vehicles still spawning in with their buckets all the way down? Do you see what just happened? I don't know. I'm kind of worn out and bored of doing this. It's fun, but it's not at the same time. I'm starting to just get a little irritated. So here I am. This is kind of what I'm hoping to do, is to get the loader down here, kind of just scrape all this off, and then load it into a truck. Maybe we'll be able to flatten this out right here, and then back the truck in right here, and then we'll get 3 scoops in. The truck can come up and then dump it off over here. I'd like to speed run this over here so I can clear all this coal out and then fill this in to get a better turning radius for the truck so that this retaining wall can be pushed out a little bit further. But I wanted to make sure I got all that coal. But yeah, that was kind of the whole point of this episode, was I wanted to try the beta out, see how the beta functioned. It pretty much functions just the same as the versions I was playing on, the live version. I'm sure there's like small improvements when it comes to like the operating of conveyors and stuff, just like it says. But I didn't really get into testing any of that. I don't really have a whole lot of throughput to test like a multiplayer server would need. And then yeah, then you've got, this is one of the coolest quality of life features they've had, is you can put something and swap it with something else versus having to, you know, move things around just to get it to go. Now you can just swap right over items, just like most games. UI, inventory management, it's always good to have features like that. It's just what people are used to now. It's kind of like common game mechanics. Just wait till somebody patents that game mechanic, like with the Power World scenarios and all that. Like, imagine patenting being able to move something in the inventory, and like, imagine this being a patent and not just like a standard game mechanic. That's how I feel about game patents. I think game patents are stupid, but that's a whole nother topic, and I'm not here to rant about that. But anyway, yeah, the bulldozer does work. I think it'll be able to achieve what I want it to, minus my frustrations and kind of just getting more skilled at it. But yeah, this is about how wide of a path I would like to kind of have for just about most scenarios, especially mining, especially when I get bigger machines. But yeah, bulldozer's working pretty good. I think this is a nice steady path, or decently inclined path that the loader will be able to manage a lot better than just going straight down like this. Yep, I wish there was more control behind the bulldozer. Maybe that'll be another episode where I try the grader out. I've never seen anyone use the grader. Maybe we'll give it a shot. But my main thing with any game like this is, you know, anything with terraforming. I think Astroneer included it, you know, in their terraforming, where you could use your tool to make the surface completely flat, or you can, I think you were able to set up angles and just cut into the terrain at specific angles a lot easier. It's kind of like an override on the blade, you know, it just forces the game to, you know, give you a 20% grade hill or something. You should be able to, I would like to be able to do that. Call me lazy, call me whatever, but I think it would just make it better for everybody. And give people the option, you know, terraform with the blade, and, you know, get your skill level up. And no matter how good your skill is, I've never seen anyone perfectly cut a hill or an angle or get this flat without using some kind of game-breaking mechanic. As you know, I don't think the game intends you to easily get this flat, and I think there should be a way to do that. And I think it should be able to be this flat and this clean when it comes to doing roads and inclines like this. Yeah, I don't know. Time will tell, but I will be back. I will come back and get some more mining done, some manufacturing, still processing. I do intend to play through this save a little bit further, but one day, you know, mine directly into this mountain and start a big old concrete processing plant, selling concrete blocks and building concrete mega structures, or at least big old facilities would be cool. Yeah, that's about all I've got in this episode. Was just kind of playing in the dirt, playing with the dozer, seeing how I feel about it, seeing what the beta's like, and yeah, that's all I've got. So I am gonna end this video here. Hope you guys learned something. Hope you enjoyed it. Sorry if I complained, but it's just I don't know. It's just me kind of reviewing and playing and having fun, or trying to. Just stating my observations. That's pretty much it. But I will see you guys in the next episode. I do plan on going to work for a week. I'm going down to Texas to do some contract work down there. So I'm going to stop probably uploading and editing as much. I'm going to try to get caught up and maybe schedule some stuff, but we'll see what happens. I'm leaving Tuesday. It's Friday night. As I'm finishing this up, we might have this episode go live Saturday morning or something like that. But all right, here I am rambling again. I'm just gonna cut it here. I'll see you guys in the next episode.